Turned on instrument. The first test interface. The first one to start testing. Click OK. You can see that the first one is the component number. This is set according to yourself. It is automatically added. This is the type of steel bar. This is the design thickness. The diameter of the steel bar is the diameter of the main bar. This one is the spacing of the main steel bars. The diameter of the main reinforcement is set according to the site, and the spacing of the main reinforcement is set according to the site. This is the diameter of a stirrup, the spacing of stirrups. After setting these up, start testing. There is another one. The bottom one is the surface diameter. There is another one. The bottom one is the surface diameter. Now the measurements are all beams or columns. If there is no surface diameter, the default is 0. The other main bar diameters, main bar spacing, stirrup diameters, and stirrup spacing should be measured on site. After the measurement is completed, click OK. It will prompt you to calibrate. Lift the instrument into the air and click Calibrate. We simply simulate the situation inside the wall on site. For example, I want to test the thickness of the protective layer of the main reinforcement. You can see that the instrument has an infrared ray. The infrared ray is aligned with the stirrup to measure the main reinforcement. That is to say, when we want to measure the main reinforcement, we need to scan the instrument from top to bottom. Scan up and down to find a steel bar, and use the infrared ray to measure the thickness of the protective layer of the main bar along with the stirrups. Select the second icon, Waveform Scan. The component number is automatically increased by 1 by default, and the steel bar type and protective layer thickness need to be set according to the actual situation on site. The diameter of the main reinforcement, the spacing between the main reinforcements, the diameter of the stirrups, and the spacing between the stirrups also need to be set according to the site conditions. The option at the bottom is the surface diameter. If you are measuring a wall, you do not need to change it. After completing the settings, click OK, then perform calibration. Keep away from metal during the calibration process. After calibration, you can start measuring. Sweep the main reinforcement from left to right, and sweep the stirrups from top to bottom. Note that the infrared ray should be aimed at the stirrup position when scanning the main reinforcement protective layer. Profile Scan Test Interface. The profile is the same as above. The member type is automatically added. You don't need to add it every time you test. You only need to set the type of steel, desk, the thickness of the protective layer of the main bar, the diameter of the main bar, diadem the diameter of the main bar, rebar the distance of the main bar, diam the diameter of the stirrups, and rebar the distance of the stirrups according to steel condition. After finishing setting, press OK, then press power button to calibration the device. Then test the protective layer thickness of the stirrups and the main bars. The grid test of the instrument is the same as above. If the grid test is mainly for the site, it is similar to our layout. With main bars and stirrup spacing, we need to set the parameter, such as the thickness of the protective layer, the diameter of the main bars, the spacing of the stirrups, and the diameter of the stirrups. According to the real data to set, after setting, press OK button to save, then lift the instrument, and press the power button to do self-calibration. After finishing the calibration, it will remind move right to scan. In this case, infrared is the same direction with the main rebar or stirrups. After testing, the instrument will remind you to press the down key to change the direction. After doing the test, press the OK key to save test data, and press the return key back to the settings menu. Choose JGJ setting. Member part could set the number. It needs to set the type of rebar, reinforcement thickness, the diameter of the main rebar, the distance between the main rear, etc., according to the real data setting. After setting, press the OK key to enter the testing menu. The same measuring point is measured twice, and the average value is taken for calculation. Generally speaking, this situation is not used. It takes the average of the two values to be used as the thickness of its protective layer for statistics. Enter the main menu and choose the last function Me setting. Press OK button, enter the setting part. According to thickness and design diameter of rebar to set the data. Press OK button to enter. Press power button to do self-calibration. After finish it, we could do the test. Move the instrument. It will remind when test the diameter. Stop moving and press up button. It will estimate the diameter of rebar. If it is not under the rebar, the test data will have error. Please pay attention in the testing. Choose Data View and click OK to visit the test data. G means the test data of JGJ test. W means the test data of the grid test. P means the test data of the profile scan. B means the test data of the waveform scan. H means the test data of the thickness test. Use the first letter to determine which mode the data is stored.